evening, good afternoon, good morning, wheresoever you are in the world. We want to say you are most welcome to the uh, uh, best premium platform in the Lutheran community, my Lutheran connections. Today we have with us some distinguished guests. We got Reverend Dr. Joseph Mboko. We got our dear mother, Madia Reese Kape, and we hope to expect our Reverend Dr. Dennis to join us shortly. And today we are going to be looking at updates on the International African Lutheran Conference 2023. What is it all about? What are we to expect? And what are the various events that are going to come up? What are the motivation or the rationale behind, the conference, Liberia been chosen as a venue for the conference. And these and many more will be discussed today as we go through with our conversation. But before that, we will turn over to our lead host, Mr. Josiah Jukai, who will begin with the entire show. We want to welcome our sister, Madame Koposeli, there from our studio in Liberia, Monrovia, and also our dear brother, Batan Beleweli, who is also joining us from our studio in Monrovia. But please listen to this before Messiah kick off the show.
Hey, yo. This is your good friend Josiah. Welcome to my Lutheran Connections online TV, where we bring you the best in education, information, and entertainment. Don't touch your dial. Okay, don't touch it, folks. Wherever you are is Lutheran Connection discussion time. Today, we are very fortunate. And when I say fortunate, I mean fortunate to have Mother Madia Reeves Kape and Dr. Joseph and Boko. Am I right? Dr. Boko, right?
Yes.
Wonderful. Dr. Boko, you are muted.
Yes, you are right.
Wonderful. And by the way, I like your background, Dr. Boko. It means a lot. I see Eritrean, I see West Africa, South Africa, Swahili. I see everything, the synods, and this is good. It's pretty. It tells us exactly what you are into. So yes, I'm really happy to see that. It's nice. And Maria Reeve Capel, we want to say welcome to your show. This is a familiar territory for you. We await Dr. Dennis, Moses Suat Dennis, to join us. But we are going to kick off the discussion today on this interesting subject, a subject of common interest, the International African Lutheran Conference 2023. And this is what you want to hear. It's not going to be happening in the West. It's not going to be happening in Asia. It's not going to be happening in Europe. It's going to be happening in Africa. And most importantly, it's going to be happening in the country where I come from, Liberia. That even makes me prouder. So wherever you are, if you are Liberian across the world, monitoring us at this time by way of my Lutheran Connections online TV, this is a great opportunity for you to stick and stay with us because we have a lot loaded for you today. We will kick off the conversation by asking Dr. Boko to please just tell us a little bit about himself because it's his first time on the show. And then we will ask him the next question. Dr. Boko, it's over to you, sir.
Yes, you mentioned my name. I was born and raised in Tanzania, East Africa, just, on the shores of Lake Victoria, 1 degree south of the equator. And I went to school in Tanzania, went to Makumira. Today it is called Tumaini University, which is northeast Tanzania. graduated, and I was ordained as a pastor by the Evangelical Lutheran Church in Tanzania. Later, I went to school in Germany and then US. I officially transferred from the Evangelical Lutheran Church in Tanzania to the ELCA, Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, in June 1998. And I had a congregation in Chicago for 16 years. 2011, I was called to serve at the national office as African National Ministries Program Director. That's who I am until now. I'm glad to be here and to meet you all.
So before you continue, I would just want to say to Reverend Dr. Joseph M. Boko, guten Tag.
Guten Tag. Wie geht es? Können Sie Deutsch sprechen?
Okay.
He's lost.
I'm not sure he's gonna go beyond that one, but that was a good one, Jerry. I didn't know that you could say something in that language, even though I don't even know the language you guys are speaking. Wonderful. Yeah. But Dr. Boko, thank you so much for telling us who you are.
Yes.
You have contributed to Christianity a whole lot. You have done a lot. 16 years leading a congregation. That's quite significant. Now with the ELCA, we appreciate it. I know you have valuable insights to bring to
Moses is here.
Yeah, Dr. Dennis is here. I know you have valuable insights, to share today on the show. And Dr. Dennis, we want to welcome you to the show. Reverend Dr. Boko have just told us exactly who he is, which makes it, good for us, sit with us better for the conversation. So, Dr. Dennis, I want to welcome you. It's been a while since you left the show. Let's hear from you. What's going on in your work?
Thank you. It's good to be back. And good to see Dr. Boko and the ambassador, Tabolo, and of course, my own brother, senior host, Mr. Josiah Jokai, and all of the team members. I don't need any introduction. Pastor Moses Dennis, Faith Emmanuel Lutheran Church, East Lansdowne, and Aliyah president. And I'm here with our able chair lady for both our LUL project and the International African Lutheran Conference. So these able people should be talking more than me today because I'm a regular guest here. So it's good to be here to support them.
Right, Dr. Dennis, and you are most welcome. It's true. You are always here. This is your platform, a familiar territory. We just want to say welcome to today's conversation. Sis, Mother Maria Reeves Capet, what's going on in your work?
So I'm the chair for the international conference, the second International African Lutheran Conference, scheduled to be held in Monrovia, April 2023. I'm currently chair of the Educational Task Force for the Aliyah, and working specifically with the Lutheran University of Liberia project. I am the the council president at my church, People's Community Lutheran Church in Baltimore, Maryland. And I'm excited about going to Liberia to be the chair of the international conference there.
Thank you so much. We want to say congratulations. We know that you just took over the leadership, you just got installed at your church, the People's Community Lutheran Church there in Baltimore. We want to officially say congratulations. I'm not sure we've had you on the show since you assumed that great responsibility. So we want to say congratulations, and we are not surprised. We know it's something you can do better. But today, folks, following us, we have a great show for you. The International African Lutheran Conference. As I told you from the beginning, it's not going anywhere else. It's going to Monrovia. It's going to my home country. I'm so proud, and that's why I'm elated. I'm so excited to talk about this today because it's going to Monrovia, and we have the best people to talk about it today. Dr. Boko, we will come over to you, but let me go to the chairperson of the IALC 2023, that's Mother Kape, to tell us what is this all about.
So the conference is about in the ELCA, there are different caucuses, and Dr. Boko will go over the caucuses. They're in his background. Those are the caucuses of the ELCA. And those caucuses are part of the African National Ministries. Dr. Boko is the head of the desk, and those caucuses meet, and they have congregations that are African national congregations, ministries in the ELCA. And those congregations had their first going back to Africa conference in Tanzania. And so that conference was held in the east of Africa. And this time we're pleased for the conference to come to West Africa. And the Lutheran Church in Liberia, as the oldest church of 163 years, is playing host to the conference for West Africa. And I am the chair of the conference that is slated to be held in April 2023.
So before you go with your next round of question, from East Africa, they cross over to the equator, coming down to West Africa. My chair, how did you manage to put it over and getting Liberia to be the host? Tell me, how did you manage? What magic did you play?
We didn't have to play any magic, because you know that the Lutheran Church in Liberia has a historical significance in the Lutheran Church, the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America. And so the most reasonable place for it to go would be the oldest church. And after 163 years of operating and partnership with the Lutheran Church in America, Liberia is the best place to go. So we just elated that we were asked to host the conference, and the Lutheran Church in Liberia willingly and decided to be the host. And so we've been working with them in planning the conference, and seems like time is going so quickly now. Within months, we'll be in Monrovia for the conference.
Excellent. It means that you have a lot to do, a huge task on your hands as chairperson. How satisfied are you with preparations?
Preparations are going very well. The church in Liberia has been very cooperative and helping us to plan, and to the theme of the conference is preach, teach, and heal, which is the theme of the church in Liberia. So that's the theme of the conference, and this is an opportunity to showcase what has been done in Liberia in spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ, and ensuring that we have maintained our church for all this time, and with partnerships throughout the world, that people want to come to Liberia to see what has been done, how we were able to keep our church intact for 163 years, and what we have been doing in areas of evangelism, in preaching, in teaching, and healing. Because, we have different institutions that are geared towards the triadic theme of motto of the LCL. And so we want to look at the institutions that have been established for preaching, for healing, and teaching in Liberia.
Wonderful. I know your team, and the folks back in Liberia, excited about this, very upbeat, and I'm glad you say preparations are proceeding very well. But I'd like to talk specifics a little bit when it comes to preparations. Logistics matters a whole lot. Are you going to make one or two trips to Liberia to make sure that everything is in place before the conference? And logistics-wise, how are you guys dealing with the issue of transportation, the issue of conference venue, invitation of guests, management of guests when they are in the country? Because I guess you're going to have so many people coming from across the world, converging right there in Monrovia. So how are you dealing with the issue of logistics and mobilization?
So there's a steering committee of the African National Ministries, and that steering committee, Dr. Dennis, Dr. Boko heads that steering committee. I'm on the steering committee also. The steering committee are composed of members from those caucuses that are behind Dr. Boko, West Africa, and all the other countries that are caucuses. There are 7 caucuses, Dr. Boko. Oh, he's still muted. All right.
Yeah,
so
we have 6.
6
caucuses.
caucuses. Yes. So the 6 caucuses have a steering committee, and then that steering committee meets to start the planning. And the Lutheran Church in Liberia appointed a steering committee there, a local steering committee, headed by Dr. Talbot, Dr. Jala. Yes. Dr. Jala has the local steering committee there, and Bishop Padmo has been very hands-on and actively involved in the planning process. So we do have committees that are working on the ground, and there are committees that are working here. So we have a website that we have put in place. So we have things that are going on that will inform people of what is going to take place and how we're going to do it. So we have things in place. We have subcommittees that are working here and in Liberia, and the steering committee is the one that oversees the operation of the conference.
Excellent. And that brings me to Dr. Boko. Dr. Boko, from the ELCA's standpoint, it means that this is squarely on your lap, because you head the Africa Dex, and this is squarely on your lap. So let me put it to you this way. I will ask from a general perspective to make you comfortable in providing as much information as you can regarding the process. So it's up to you, Dr. Boko. Where is the ELCA in all of this?
First, I would like to go back a little bit. When after the conference in Tanzania, actually we were still there. The question was, where do we go next? Guess what? The majority, thought maybe we should go to Accra, Ghana. The Lutheran Church in Ghana has a very strong partnership with the Missouri Synod here in the US. And, before starting anything, I contacted, the bishop of the Lutheran Church in Ghana. And I didn't know they don't ordain women. So there are no clergy women. And he cautioned me, he said, is it possible for the ELCA delegation to avoid, women clergy? And even before I spoke with the presiding bishop of the ELCA, it was a no. Guess what? One person who was a member of this international conference happened to be Bishop Jensen Seyenkuro. Bishop Jensen Seyenkuro, before he became a bishop of Lutheran Church in Liberia, was working with the ELCA, Congregation Vitality Team, Domestic Mission. So we were on the same floor. He's a very good friend of mine. When he heard about it, he said, Brother Boko, you are more than welcome to Liberia. Oh, I said, thank you so much. So I shared the idea with the presiding bishop, Elizabeth Eaton. She said, hey, go ahead. So that's where we started, contacted the African National Ministry Steering Committee, Brother Moses Dennis Sewer, Sister My Dear Reeves Cafe. They were part of this. Man, you should have seen my dear jumping from the chair. Said, yes, come to Liberia. That's how things started. And again, this conference was postponed twice because we wanted to be there, especially, when Jensen Seyenkuro was the bishop. And again, COVID came in, and again, we didn't want to take a chance of bringing all these delegates during, COVID. Now, by God's grace, COVID is going down. Then we said it's about time to go to Liberia. Now, your question, have I been to Liberia? I intended to go, but my sister, my dear Moses Sewer, have been there. I think Moses has been there twice. They have seen the hotels. They have seen all the places we'll be, touring, and they came with a very big okay. So we are ready. Back to you.
So my
Thank you
colleague
so
Jerry
much.
will take with another round of questioning. Jerry, it's over to you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Dr. Boko. You just took the question from my mouth as it relates to your presence in Liberia. And so you've already have stated that, you are excited because you got a very good feedback from Reverend Dr. Moses Swaden, who have told you that it is a very good place to have such a conference. But the very first thing I want to know from you, as the person who is responsible for African desk, how many persons are we anticipating flying?
Originally we were looking delegation from the ELCA alone 50, but because of we have budget. The budget is tight right now, so we reduced the number from 50 to 30. So we are expecting 30 delegates, probably 15 men and 15 women to attend the conference. And again, we have ELCA national office officials from Service and Justice Program Director Rafael Malpica, and from Leadership Development Unit, Dr. Philly Hirsch. And we might have, 3 more from the churchwide office.
And that excludes those that are already on ground in Liberia. So by and large, give or take, you're talking about how many persons or how many participants in the entire conference, with the exception of those 30 that are coming, those that are on ground. How many persons you anticipate being a part of the conference? Do you have a number?
My dear.
So So you know that this time is also Founders Day for the LCL, and so LCL stretches across the whole country. So people will be coming from all of the parishes and for the Founders Day, and so we expect at least 50 people, and then the LWF is part of a sponsor of this conference. So we have people coming from the West African region that will be coming to us. We anticipate budgeting for 100 to 150 people who will be attending the conference.
That's a very, very satisfactory number. And as you can see screen, Reverend Victor Palmo, the Lord Bishop, our Lord Bishop, Reverend Dr. G. Victor Palmo, is saying that he's looking forward to receiving all of you in Liberia. So I think the team on the ground are very excited also to receive you all. But Reverend Dennis,
Yep.
so I mean, when it comes to organizing, I know for the way that I don't doubt your competence, you and Mother Captain. I would like to know. I mean, it's an African Lutheran conference. So are we expecting her, Mother Captain, saying part of West Africa? Are we expecting our neighbors, for example, Lutheran from Sierra Leone, from Ghana, from Nigeria, all to converge?
Thank you. Great question. I'm going to take a shot at it, and my colleagues will also contribute. But let me start with where everybody started. Liberia being selected for the conference. In addition to what Dr. Boko and Sister Maria indicated, I think that the hard work of our chairperson was a factor, because she served this steering committee for a very long time as the chair, as the secretary. And that also brought her the trust of all of us on the committee. So that was very important. And secondly, in terms of preparedness, you know, the ELCA is a very big structured church. And like Dr. Boko was saying, we are just one of the ministries of the ELCA, the African National Ministries. And in addition to this group, you know, we have senates, we have congregation, and we have the church-wide. So Dr. Boko, being an employee of the church-wide, chaired the decks, but we also have bishops that, you know, support this conference. So like my bishop, Bishop Patricia Davenport, is supposed to be coming to the conference along with the bishop of Upper Swaziland Senate, which is the companion senate for the Lutheran Church in Liberia, along with some of their members, because they haven't been in the country for a long time due to COVID and other reasons. Additionally, Bishop Gore from Maryland, Delaware, Maryland Senate is supporting the conference, and also Bishop Corey from the Chicago Senate is also supporting this conference. So once the church is supporting it, it means the 65 or the whole church is supporting it. So we have the support of the whole ELCA, and thank God, like I said, for the good work of people like Dr. Boko, Sister Mari, and the entire African National Ministry that have made our presence felt in the ELCA and making real impact in the new direction, or the old revived direction the church wants to go, which is to be diverse, to be young, and to be multicultural, and to be all that America represents, the melting pot that is the American, you know, nation. So we are excited in terms of planning. No doubts, it's been in the making for a long time. Like you heard, we should have come to Liberia 2020, but we didn't come. We didn't come 2021 or 2022. So thankfully, we are coming 2023, and by the grace of God, we are trusting that it will be a journey of accompaniment, because we are coming to see how Liberia has been doing ministry, and how the ELCA, as the companion church that are all part of the Lutheran World Federation, we can learn from our global companion, and they can learn from us to continue to build the Church of Christ in this 21st century in a world that needs the gospel more than ever before. So we believe we are prepared, and the ground team is prepared. Obviously, money is limited, but we will manage what God has given us. Beside the official delegates, there are other people who might be coming from the states who will be paying their own transportation. So eventually the number might be above 30, but 30 is the official delegate that will be sponsored by the conference, and other people will be coming at their own expense because they want to be part of the conference and to learn in the process. So that's my add on to what Dr. Boko and Sister Mari have already articulated thus far.
So the steering committee on the ground, if Reverend Dr. Paul Jala is listening, I think we should put more time, like Josiah correctly stated, on the issue of logistics, because we may be talking about roughly pretty close to 200, 250 persons, because we may be contemplating on getting people from, I'm sure, part of Africa also to come. But let's get a bit to the specific as it relates to what do you have lined up? What will be your arrival date? When is the conference starting? And can you give us a rundown of itinerary?
Okay, so we intend to travel between April 20 and 21st, but the conference actually starts on April 22nd. And when we get to Liberia, that April 22nd, the church has organized a cultural event to welcome the delegates to Liberia. And Ambassador Julie Andy and the cultural people are going to have a presentation that first night we get there. And then on that Sunday, we're going to have the official opening of the conference. Bishop Patricia Davenport is the representative of the ELCA, and she's Pastor Dennis's bishop. She is the keynote speaker for the conference, and she will be speaking at St. Peter's Lutheran Church on that day. But one of the things that we've tried to do in the ELCA is to share pulpits with people. So even that day, some of the people who are the pastors that are coming from here will be speaking at other congregations, but Bishop Davenport will be giving the official keynote address at St. Peter's. And then that evening, we're going to have a dinner and an intercessory prayer service. And then Bishop Padmo is going to preach and welcome us to Liberia.
So dinner, before you continue, so dinner like toboggi and something like that?
Yes, everything that goes with it. Yeah, we make sure we have toboggi. But you see that a lot of Pella people there, so we have to do the Pella people food too. So then the next day is when with the official opening of the conference. We will have several speakers that day. We intend to introduce why we having the conference in the first place. What is the significance of the conference? Why do we want this? Why did we think it was important to take Africans of the ELCA back to Africa to make sure that they can see what has been done and where we come from? And like Josiah was saying, we're so proud that we come from Liberia. So we want to show what Liberia has been able to do in spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ. So that day, we're going to have speakers from the ELCA. We're going to have speakers from the LWF. We're hoping that we can have the president of the LWF attend. As you know, he's from Nigeria, so he's our West African brother. So we're making efforts to make sure that he can come. Then we have people from the speakers from the ELCA, Dr. Phil Hirsch, Raphael Mapika. From the LWF, we're going to have Dr. Dowai, who is the West African representative of the LWF, and Reverend Beverly Wallace, who works with the seminaries in the ELCA. Following that evening, that afternoon, we'll start the plenary sessions. And at that plenary session, the church in Liberia will give us a historical overview of where the church has come these 163 years when it started. And talking about the theme, how many stages you Lutherans know the church in Liberia has been through several stages, from the missionaries to sustainability to now. And all these stages, the Lutheran Church is going to inform the participants about what has been done over these years, 163 years. The next day, we will be working, doing roundtable discussions. The roundtable discussions will be geared towards looking specifically at the areas of preach, heal, and teach, and discussing those things that affect them. For example, the church in Liberia will tell us about their preaching efforts. We have a youth and advocacy group that's going to be working. We're hoping to have Lehman Wowie talk about reconciliation in the church and in the world. And we have our accompaniment synod, Upper Susquehanna Synod. They are bringing a big delegation there to discuss the partnership with the Lutheran Church in Liberia. Then the next day we go. We know that the Lutheran Church is not just limited to Monrovia or St. Peter's. The Lutheran Church goes throughout the 15 counties of Liberia. So we decided to go to look at some service learning opportunities. And so we will go to Banga, and Banga will be the place where we will stop on the way. We will stop in Kakata, look at and go to the lay school in Totota, go to Swakoko. Bethany is the bishop's church. We're going to be visiting them, and then we're going to end up at Phoebe. That night, we will have a banquet to celebrate the 163rd year of Founders Day.
Founders Day, yep.
Founders Day in Banga, and then the next day we come back to Monrovia. And coming back to Monrovia, we're going to go to the place where the first missionaries met, and where in Millsburg and Harrisburg. We're going to be going to them, to those areas. And then finally, we'll come back and talk about what we've learned and what next steps we intend to embark upon. So that's, we have a big job ahead of us. But we're getting there. And like I said, the church in Liberia has been very supportive in planning and scheduling activities and doing the logistics so we meet with them every 2 weeks, and starting in another 2 weeks, we'll start meeting with them weekly. So we know that things will be done and ready by the time we get to Monrovia, April 20th.
Bishop just commented that Madam Bowie is confirmed to be in attendance.
All right.
So that's great.
Yeah. Jerry just put that on the screen, and I wanted to also say that thank you, Dr. Dennis, for noticing that. That is very significant. So you already have one of your speakers has been confirmed already, and Dr. Boko also, Bishop, if you are still following, which I know you're doing, if anyone follows this show religiously, it is Bishop Patmo. He starts from the beginning to the end of the show every Sunday. It's part of his schedule. Bishop Dr. Boko has just acknowledged, what you said about them, and they are looking forward to seeing you, especially him, He's looking forward to seeing you in person, Bishop. I know Dr. Paul cannot wait to be in Monrovia.
And we cannot wait to see Bishop Patmore here in the summer. We want him here too.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So
At Aliyah Convention.
We are on. So
That's
folks,
great.
we are on my Lutheran Connection, and tonight we are looking at the International African Lutheran Youth Conference 2023 to take in Liberia, Monrovia, and we know for the well that is going to be fantabulous. At this stage, we'll take a very short musical break so we can allow our guests to take a glass of water, and then after that, we come the next round of questioning, and then we can be able to take few calls, recognize our viewers, and then we can call it a day. A very short musical break.
Close your eyes. Let's go into the heavenly. Come on. All you could ask for me, according to the power that works. Yeah. Listen, church, God is able to do just what He said He would do, and He's gonna fulfill every promise to you. This is your word. Don't give up on God, for He won't give up on you. Listen, He's able. I feel God in the room. He's able. I need a crazy worshiper to lift your voice, lift your hands. God is able to do just what He said. He's gonna fulfill every promise to you. So don't give up on God. Don't give up on God. 'Cause He won't give up on you. Give up on you. Tell your neighbor He's able. He's able.
Yes,
Don't give
yes,
up.
yes.
Don't
God,
give up
God
on God.
able, God able. Joe, you can take it from there. I think I saw Bishop. I think I saw Bishop in something. I heard it, but maybe the chairperson who Bishop is saying something here. But I think I heard the chair talking about a trip to LTI learning centers and Zozo. But I'm telling you, want to extend on this.
Yes.
Bishop is
So-
concerned.
Okay, so initially we had decided we're going to go to Zozo and to LTI, and we had a plan that as part of the learning opportunities, we were going to be visiting Zozo, but we had to, because of the budget, the ELCA had to cut the conference by 2 days. So we would not be going to Zozo and LTI. However, the banquet and everything that goes along with the funding will go towards the original projects that we had anticipated working on and getting grants for. The conference will basically be in Banga and along the way. And then we come back to Monrovia, go where it all started, and then close the conference with the Upper Susquehanna accompaniment people ending the conference in Monrovia. And I saw another question Elijah had about how we got the delegates. So maybe I need to respond to that also.
Sister Marty, yeah, I think let me speak to that for you. So how are we getting the delegates? Dr. Boko can definitely speak to it too, but from the Aliyah constituent, each of the 6 caucuses is entitled to send 2 delegates. And so that's how we're going to get the delegates. And right now
Is
we've
that
earmarked.
Reverend? Is that Aliyah or ELCA?
So each of the 6 caucuses in the African National Ministries is entitled to send 2 delegates, official delegates. And that is exclusive of all that are on the planning committee, which is Sister Maria, myself, and another Liberian sister, and our treasurer, and I believe another volunteer. So we have identified the 2 delegates, but any other person can come to the conference at their own cost. And like Sister Maria indicated, it's listed on the website how much the conference will cost in terms of lodging, feeding, and every logistics that go with that, minus air ticket, is all on the website. But that's how we are getting the conference delegate. We have the ELCA executives, we have the steering committee, and we have the caucuses representatives. So those are the 4 areas we are drawing from: the national church, our VIPs, our sponsors, our patrons, the steering committee that are steering the African National Ministry, and then each of the 6 caucuses is entitled to send 2 representatives. And Aliyah, of course, is part of the West African caucus. And basically, it's Ghana and Liberia that make up the West Africa caucus. I don't know if Sister Mada want to expand on that, but that's my understanding. If we heard the question,
Dr. Boko, so I don't know if Dr. Boko wants to chime in on that one too.
Yeah. Again, when we began this international conference, excuse me, the associations were promised to be invited in this conference. That includes, African Americans, the Caribbean, the Latinos, Middle Eastern, Asian. So we are expecting at least 4 or 5 people from these, associations. Also the European Association, whites. So, my dear, are we expecting 2 delegates or 3?
We are expecting 2 delegates from each caucus.
Okay. And again, we try as much as we can to make sure each caucus is represented. West Africa, Liberia is the largest, community with about 18 churches. Then you have Ghana, you have Sierra Leone, you have Cameroon, Swahili speaking, and then the Horn of Africa, which includes Amharic and Oromo, and Southern Africa, South Sudan. We try as much as we can, Eritrea, we try as much as we can to make sure each caucus is represented. Man, I wish you were at my desk to see how many calls I'm getting every single day, people wanting to come. But if they can afford being on their own, we cannot close the door.
This is wonderful. Thank you so much. Sister Madia, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I was saying that besides the official delegates that are coming from the caucuses and the steering committee and the ELCA and from the LWF, there are people who have indicated their desire to come to Liberia to attend the conference as observers. So we worked with the local planning committee, and we came up with different rates, and we call it Observer A, Observer B, Observer C. and what they will have to contribute to the conference, in addition to paying their own way to come to the conference. And some people already bought their tickets already before I even got my own ticket. They already bought their tickets about coming to Monrovia, and looking forward to this. So we all Liberians are so proud that we want to be there. We don't necessarily have to be official delegates of the ELCA, but we want to be there and show the church in Liberia that we are supporting them, even though we're in the diaspora, but we support them, and we're proud of the accomplishments of 163 years of being in the Lutheran Church. So we have a website, and I want you to please go to your website, to the website. This is the website was designed by our own Willie Cowboy, and the website is we're still in the process of loading up things on the website, but the initial information that you need if you come into Liberia, the helpful hints. There are helpful hints how to get your visa, how to get your yellow book, and all of that kind of stuff. Making sure you have all your vaccinations in place. We have helpful hints there. We also have the payment. If you have to pay, we have the payment options that are there, and where you can make your payments. But what we want to really stress today is that if you want to join us in Monrovia, and I hope all of you will join us in Monrovia, that you start to register so that we will know how much it's going to cost you for the trip. If you taking care of your own ticket and all of that, and making your own transportation, local transportation will be available as part of it. So if you be one of the observers that are coming, please register. We want you to make sure that you have a place, and that the local committee in Liberia.
Sis Madia, I'm sorry to interrupt. We have the Bishop of the Lutheran Church in Liberia on the phone. The Red Reverend Dr. Victor G. Patmo, who would like to speak to you, the guests. So Bishop, you are live and they are hearing you. Go ahead.
Good evening to all from Liberia. How are you all doing?
We're doing fine, Bishop.
Fine.
Good. I'm so happy and excited to have been part of this program tonight to get all the updates. You can rest assured we are working as hard as possible at the end to make sure with the confidence you have imposed in us here in Liberia is met. But we are also asking that things that needs to be done from your end to us, that we can talk that when we get on our meeting. But we are happy, and I just left from Bomai, Kakata District, Banga this weekend, and announcing that you will be there, and everyone is expecting you, and we are all planning to make sure this conference is the one we all expect to have in Liberia for its first time. Thank you for planning and choosing Liberia, the Lutheran Church in Liberia, to be here with us in April.
Bishop, stay on the line. I don't know if Sis Madia, Dr. Dennis, or Dr. Boko has something to say.
My dear.
So just to say thank you, Bishop, for your support. Like I said, we have gotten support from Bishop and his local team. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more. Liberia's hospitality is well known, so we just look forward to coming to Liberia and having a good time in the Lord, and showing the church what we have been able to accomplish in 163 years. I think that is commendable. So Bishop, just thank you for having us and hosting us. I am excited about being a Liberian and coming to the Lutheran Church in Liberia to be the chair of the conference, a female lay person to be the chair of the conference. I'm really proud to be a Liberian. Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you too.
Dr. Dennis? Dr.
Yes,
Booker?
yes. Thank you, Bishop. I see your host chairperson, Reverend Toba Jala, is also online. Good evening, Reverend. We are thankful for the collaboration, and like I indicated, we are not only looking to coming to Liberia, but we are looking to learning from you, and also in the future having you come here to continue to talk about the work of the church in Liberia in the face of all of the challenges that come with post-COVID, post-Civil War. Yet the church continue to stay faithful to preaching the gospel. So we are grateful, and the least we can do is to be partner with you in every way we are able to continue this great work that God has entrusted to your hands as the chief shepherd of the church in Liberia. So thanks for joining us, and thanks for all the work that is going towards hosting this conference, not just for the Lutheran Church in Liberia, for our global Lutheran community and family, to know that, we have a strong witness, and we are proud of that.
Bishop Padmo, greetings from the presiding bishop of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, Elizabeth Eaton. And again, thank you so much for accepting to host the International African Lutheran Conference. Peace.
Thank you, Dada Boko. Thank you so much. Thank you for rejection Liberia and Liberia. We promise to do the best we can by God's grace, so that this conference can be the one we all look forward to. We look forward to see you as soon as possible. God bless all of us in the interim.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Bishop. Thank you very much for joining us on the show today. I know you are still following. I know once the show is on, you don't sleep. You are on. We get to the end of the show. So thank you for joining us by way of phone, Bishop.
Thank you.
On a video program for you.
Okay, there you have it. The Bishop of the Lutheran Church in Liberia, the Right Reverend Dr. G. Victor Patmo. He was just with us on the phone and extending thanks and appreciation to the team preparing for this International African Lutheran Conference, which goes to Liberia. And I say, as a Liberian, wherever you are, if you are there, I don't know, especially Lutheran across the world, if you are not proud at this time, then I don't know what's going to make you proud. For me, I am indeed excited. I'm elated about this development, and it means a lot for the Lutheran Church after 163 years, to be recognized in such a meaningful way. From East Africa, crossing all the way over to West Africa, particularly in Liberia, to promote what we call Lutheranism globally. So this is quite significant, Dr. Dennis. I will come to you. Where is Aliyah specifically? Because you are wearing two hats here, the ELCA hat and the Aliyah hat. Where is Aliyah in all of this?
So, thank you, Honorable Bok Joe. So Aliyah is one of the organizations that make up the West Africa Caucus. And obviously, we are proud to have Sister Madi chairing the conference. She is one of the backbones of Aliyah. And so Aliyah is fully behind this conference. If we had a will, we would sponsor all of our people that want to go. But unfortunately, we can only send 2 official delegates. But thankfully, as the chair indicated, some of our members have volunteered to come because they value this conference, so they're going to be transporting themselves and providing their own lodging, but will be part of the conference. And as we look to the future, after this conference, there are next steps to come. So we'll be working with the chair to make sure that the learnings from this conference is not kept, but is shared with the larger church. The ELCA is a large church, and the ELCA is at a critical crossroad trying to re-envision what it means to be a church in America in the 21st century. So we believe this conference is going to provide a lot of learning opportunity from the executives of the ELCA that will be coming, including 2 of our national executives and our own Dr. Boko, Dr. Phil Hirsch, and Dr. Mapika. and other leaders from the church. So we believe that Aliyah is going to continue to work with the African National Ministries to bear witness to our presence in the church, and God continue to raise us up as part of this church.
I'm sorry, Reverend, to interrupt. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you just acknowledge Reverend Dinjala's comment, and he's on the phone right now, and so he will also like to talk about this conference. So Dinjala, you are live on the show. Go ahead, please.
Greetings and peace to you, brothers and sisters, and thanks for bringing me on. We are so excited that this is going to be taking place here in Liberia in April. And as Bishop said, I'm also monitoring. I was just together with the Bishop when he came down from his office tonight, going to bed. And we talked a little bit, and he was running to get on the show. That's how he's been working. He was in the office tonight and all. So that shows to you that we are serious and talking about this planning, and talking to all of the parishes. We just concluded the 10th annual convention of the Morea district, which I preside over also, and I've adequately informed all of the 9 parishes, and they're aware and they're looking forward to collaborate. They are looking forward to receive the brothers and sisters for this conference. We are so excited about it, and we look forward that people will sponsor it. The ecumenical partners will ensure that fundings are available, and we can be together in this great fellowship here in Monrovia, Liberia.
Dinjala, you are well situated when it comes to preparations for the International African Lutheran Conference. What specifically have you to say as far as your preparedness for this conference is concerned? Logistics, mobilization, is there any information you want to share with the audience regarding those aspects of the preparation?
The major one, 2 major things. Hotel accommodation. When we get guests, we try to get good accommodation for them, that when they go back home, they will remember their visit. And the guest house for our church is being renovated, beautifully situated, because this conference is coming. Giving it a facelift, the bishop himself is always in the guest house to make sure that the air conditions are being installed. You can see that this is being done as early as January, February. So this is good news that some of the guests will stay right on the compound for those few days. And then we've already booked accommodation at Boulevard Palace Hotel at a discounted rate offered to the church. The church is very close to these people, so the bishop has already mandated us to go and talk to the hotel management team. Last week, Thursday, the bishop was in the hotel, and we concluded a very good deal that will be a little bit below even what is being budgeted for the palace, for our esteemed bishop and heads of churches that will be part of the delegation. So in concrete terms, the hotel deals have been sealed, and the next thing will be food, entertainment. We already have the catering team, and they are meeting this week to finalize their budget and submit it. And very soon we will even tell you before the end of this month or early next month, we'll tell you what you will expect on the menu daily. And so Bishop also have already spoken to some of his colleagues or bishop about this conference. For me, this is really good that people are aware of it. They know what is going to be happening in April. So in concrete terms, these things are done. The logistics, very important, and these things are on course. So we are excited that we are in the right direction.
Dean Jala, Sis Capet, Dr. Dennis, and Dr. Boko are just smiling and they feel very fulfilled from the information you are providing. Because always like justice and mobilization are important aspects of planning for such event. The other aspect has to do with publicity. Maybe that's the last one you want to speak.
Before you leave the publicity, Joe, before you leave the publicity, I would like to find out from Dinjana, I mean, in terms of the logistics, how is it arranged for airport pickup and, all of those stuff for the delegates that are coming?
Right, transportation. So, Dinjala, you can just speak to the two. Transportation, you heard my colleague Jerry, that's an important concern. Then, plus the public information effectively via social media. Maybe you want to talk about those two, transportation, publicity.
Our team responsible for transportation, they brought quotation to me, and then they brought their proposal, but I sent them back to bring me 3 quotations. And so if they are sleeping, I have those 3 quotations lying down somewhere. If they are not available, we will step out because the bishop came in us. And so once I can get a 3 quotation, and then the treasurer of the LCF validate which of the company will be hired to provide the services, and then they will sign the contract with that company, then we all will take it from there. But they have the proposal. I saw it, but what was missing was wanted pro forma invoices from 3 companies that will be hiring, that are hiring vehicle in Morocco. So it's very easy that once we get the quotation or the invoices from 3 companies, I will be in a position to tell you which one have been selected. And in terms of publicity, we were just waiting. Bishop is aware of that. We're just waiting. Once we get our account, if we can hit the account, we're trying to get a very big billboard, a massive one in Bond County, that everybody entering Bond County, leaving Bond County will read of this international conference going to be in place. And we want to mount that billboard for 1 month in advance before your arrival. And so these things are on. We have a media team already headed by Laoba Smo. He will provide publicity coverage for the entire conference. And he has a group of young people working on the team. They're professionals, media practitioners. So this is on course. As soon as we can get some money available, you will see on Facebook the billboard that will be mounted somewhere on the highway to tell the whole republic that there's a conference coming in this country. Lutherans from other parts of the globe will be joining their brothers and sisters in this great celebration. So I think we are on course. We are also talking to the United Methodist radio station to partnership with us in this process. The United Methodist radio station, Bishop was at their conference just 2 days ago. He came back only last night and went back again to Fremantle, and he's back. So he's in conversation with all these entities. So once we can get UMU, it's called United Methodist Radio Station. Once we can get the DC with them, you can be sure that publicity will be really good. There's a guy in our church called Moses who has TV Liberia. We are already talking to him and hiring him to get this out as soon as possible. So that's where we are. We are excited. It is ongoing very well.
Wonderful, Dean Jala, and I think Dr. Dennis and Boko And Sis Madi, very pleased with the information you have provided. Good level of information regarding preparations. You talk about publicity, the mainstream. The mainstream media is quite important to engage with the mainstream media, but social media has become so powerful that you cannot do anything without social media. In fact, by way of social media, you are on the phone right now, talking to the word. And you are also interacting with us, and you know my Lutheran Connections online TV play a significant role in that respect. So I am a bit surprised that in the context of your preparations for publicity, that my Lutheran Connections has not been officially contacted regarding this process, because here we are able to sell the International African Lutheran Conference at no cost to the committee and at no cost to us Lutherans, because it's about us, it's for us. And, you know, so I just want to alert you, and so that you can make the necessary adjustments in your plans for that consideration, Dean. But it has been a very, very good opportunity having you on the phone. Yes, Jerry, you want to chime in?
Yeah. So you just took the word out of my mouth. I would just want to say that, Dean Jara, don't be afraid. We are not going to send you any bill. This is about us. We are going to make sure that we will also try to stretch it as far as possible. You know that our viewership is also large across Europe, Africa. As we even beaming now, we got colleagues from Nigeria, from Zambia, Lusaka, and everywhere, and they are trying to see how they can be able to, you know, to interface, to see how they can. That is why I was even saying to the organizer that they should get prepared, because it may be more than the 150 they're anticipating officially. And so there is something. So, Denjara, we trust your expertise when it comes to event management and then organization of this kind of thing. But my Lutheran Connection, we're not begging for it though. I mean, but it's just something that I know it was an oversight. It was not deliberate, and we understand that we will partnership whatsoever the case may be, whatsoever gaps. In terms of media, just let us know so that we can be able to partnership on a pro bono basis. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. We appreciate that.
And
you have Willie right here. So
Thank you, guys.
Willie is our media person for the conference. So I'm sure he will be reaching out to you also.
We actually already in partnership with my Lutheran Connections. Our man on our team from your side is Willie Kobe.
Yeah.
And so Willie Kobe is our man.
So, I almost saw Willie to stop. Willie started putting your URL, the link to your website. He started publishing it already via my Lutheran Connections, and so I almost told his staff, "You don't have any right to do that." So
he wanted to comment. Willie wanted to comment.
I'm just kidding, Dean. But that's what we are here for. That's what we do, the sacrifice. That's what my Lutheran Connections was established to do. And we are coming up with a lot of enhancements. You already started seeing us playing gospel music on our show. You already started seeing me with some ad about the show. So we can also create ads for the International African Lutheran Conference, and we can play it intermittently during our discussions on the show every Sunday from now to the time of the conference, just to promote the conference. We can do that. So all you have to do is do your ad 60 seconds or 1 minute 30 seconds. Send it to us. We'll play it intermittently. I will talk to Willie about that and see how he can begin to do some of those things along with you guys, help you guys do those kinds of recordings so that we can play for, or even statement from you people, or just short statement from Dr. Boko, short statement from Madia Reeves Carpet, the chair, or even Dr. Dennis. Just comments from you people. We play it intermittently, have it beautifully recorded. We will do that on the show. And then when I end the call with you, we will play the short ad that I did so that you can see how beautifully it is done. And so you can know exactly what I'm talking about. Jerry, I hope you're listening, or Willie, so that you can cue that for us. But it was good having you on the phone. And I'm sure doctors Dennis and Boko are pleased, equally so. Sis Paddy Reed Carpet, pleased to hear you on the phone, providing updates on the level of preparations. Thank you, Dean Jala, for participating on the show.
Thank you. I'm still standing by for any question.
Yeah, I know you guys don't sleep. You, Bishop, rest of the folks are always on when we are on, because you don't want to miss any inch of the discussion. Thank you, Reverend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really pleasing to us. We appreciate it. Bye now. That was the voice of the Dean of Monrovia District, the Lutheran Church in Liberia, providing updates on preparations for the first International African Lutheran Conference, something that's going to Liberia from Africa and Neutral. This is about the word is global, and not just Liberia. At this time, I go to Dr. Dennis. Dr. Dennis, what does this mean for the LCL?
Well, I think like the ELCA, the LCL is at the crossroad. We have a new bishop, and the country itself is at a crossroad in terms of national, challenges. So we believe that the ELCA the LCL as she works to envision a new future for the life of the church to stay effective, we believe this conference will be a boost to helping them, think some of the thoughts that they are having and entertaining. And we really believe the LCL need a lot of restructuring that will make it more effective and efficient in the 21st century. And so, the last ELCA conference we had was titled Embodying the Word, and the one before that said Always Being Made New. So we believe that this conference will provide an opportunity for the LCL to really regain some of its strength that were lost during the COVID year and the Civil War, so as to be that critical voice for Lutheranism in West Africa, because the LCL have given birth to a lot of national churches, the church in Guinea, the church in Sierra Leone, the church in Gambia. And so this will be an opportunity to expand its strength in, helping those churches develop like it did for other churches. And of course, Liberia, as a country that helped a lot of African countries, we believe that this conference is going to help the spotlight to be back on Liberia and the Lutheran Church in Liberia. And we think it's an opportunity they need to leverage with the presence of all of us that are coming there to rethink the next chapter of its life as a national church in helping the nation deal with some of the challenges we are facing as a country and by extension, the church. So I believe it's a great opportunity. We are there to strengthen our witness. We are there to let them know that they are not alone. They have their global brothers and sisters, both in the Liberian diaspora and in the ELCA and the global Lutheran community. So this is an opportunity to just give back to Liberia what Liberia has given back to our church. That is the Lutheran Church in Liberia. So it's a great, great opportunity as I think about it.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I think that's a good perspective in terms of the outcome. I'm wondering if our sister couple is on, but before she comes in, I'd like to welcome Willie. Willie was just on the plane. He just landed and he jumped on the show. Willie, can you please come in? Yeah. Sis Maddie, I can't wait to hear you talking about some of the things you were talking.
Yeah, and I'm very glad. Is everyone hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very, very much. First of all, I want to give God the glory and the praise for a safe travel. I want to apologize to everyone for my late arrival. We had a delay in Dallas-Fort Worth, but thank God that I'm on the show. And I just want to add to all of the voices that have spoken that the International African Lutheran Conference is on course. We participated in the inaugural conference in Arusha, Tanzania, very next to the Mount Kilimanjaro. We had a very, very much a wonderful time and a learning period in Tanzania. And this year is going to Liberia. I'm very, very much excited. I just want to say this quickly. Most of the questions that more people have, everything is on the website. Okay, it's on the website. It's www.rialc2023.org. www.rialc2023.org. If you go on the website, you're going to see everything. Question about how much it costs for a delegate, an observer, and the banquet. Just everything is on there. And also, you're going to see the conference leaders. You're going to see everyone on there. And more information continue to, we continue to update the website. So I just wanted to pass that through, that keep following the conference updates on the website. I want to thank the Reverend Dr. Joseph Boko. I want to thank also the Reverend Dr. Moses Swat Dennis and Mother Maria Reese Carpet for working on this conference, and our church in Liberia as well. I'm so much proud. Quickly, I will say this, Dr. Boko, I want to say thank you for inviting us to Tanzania. But this time around, when you go to Liberia, you're going to receive, an experience of your lifetime. That's how I can put it. So we are prepared. We are prepared to receive you and the entire international delegates and observers that will be descending in Liberia on the last weekend, the last week of April. So we can't wait to receive everyone. Our hands are open to receive everyone, in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. What a good way to end your comments, Willie. And thank God for safe arrival back home. I know everyone here appreciates the work that you do. By the way, because we are here sitting today talking to each other, everything is because of the hard work that Willie does for us in the background. He's responsible for all of our technological progress that we make. All the enhancements and everything. He's doing everything. Willie and I review the International African Lutheran Conference website. By the way, we did that. We've already gone through that. We went through the different pages because I wanted to get a full understanding of what it's all about. He did a marvelous job with your website. But, somebody sitting there in Banga doesn't have access to the website. How does he know about conference? Those are some of the specifics that we are asking about. So, Willie, I'm sure you
let me say something to that quickly.
Right.
Yes,
right.
I can say something to that quickly. Not only the website, we also have a Twitter page that is coming up very shortly, and the official Facebook page. So once all of the once we get confirmation, we will regarding all of these things, and people will have access to it. We know that not everyone, will kind of go to the website, but we're gonna have the official Facebook page and the Twitter page. So all of the information will be out there, so that as quickly as possible, social, because like you said, social media play a huge role in publicity and disseminating of information. So we're gonna have that as quickly as possible. And we're going to be doing it in line with the king in Liberia. Yeah.
Ambassador, can we take the guests? Can we recognize our viewers?
Yes, thank you so much. So we will begin by our brother Royal Jerome Jala. Say greetings to you all. And we have Richard Kennedy from my home in Sika. Of course, our brother Wade Koboe, who has landed. We praise God for him. And we have our brother Elijah Zinan, who is viewing us. And I think brother Zina had a question. Who is responsible for the accommodation participants of the conference, and how does a person attend the conference? I think you can get that information from the website.
Besides that, was explained. The guest also explained. Yeah, responded.
Yeah, and also, of course, our Lord Bishop. Oh, sorry, our Lord Bishop G. Victor Palmo. I just used to the Reverend stuff. I hope I will adjust myself accordingly.
We have to.
Again, we have our Dean, who is working hard on ground. Dean Torbert Jala. I don't know if that had displayed. And then we also have, hello? Are you guys getting me?
Yeah.
Yes, we're hearing you. We're hearing you.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay, yeah, that's great. Okay, then we have our father, Eripele K. Sumo, an ardent follower of my Lutheran connection. He says he's watching us from St. Louis City, Missouri State. Again, our brother, Dr. George Toto. Dr. George Toto is there. He also asked me a question. I don't know if that is displaying. He's saying, what is the setting fee for non-official delegates to attend the conference? I don't know if
So
if comment have been made.
So as we indicated, Dr. Toto needs to go to the website and register, and all of the fees and descriptions are all on the website. And if he has any other questions, he knows he can call me. So if he needs any additional information, I'll be glad to give it to him.
All right, thank you so much, Mother Reese Capet, and many more guests are there. The list so long we cannot, unfortunately, show all of them, but we want to say thank you to all of our viewers. We highly recognize your interest in participating every Sunday, and especially this Sunday is very important as it relates to the International African Lutheran Conference, the IALC 2023, that should be held in Liberia, Monrovia. Joe, that's it from my end, except that
wonderful.
Anyone want to respond to something, and then have a short musical break, and after we have our close comments.
Right, so we can take the short musical break. And I hope you got something to do there. We can take the short musical break. When we come back, we'll take the closing comments from our guests, and then we will end the show for today. So we will now take the break at this time. Jerry, it's over to you.
Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on.
Okay, Joe, then I think we just
For all the peace I've been through, the Lord has saved me. The Lord has saved me. The Lord has lifted me. The Lord has changed my life. The Lord has favored me. Changed my life. Changed my status. Changed my family. The Lord has favored me. I never see anyone who can be like my God. Who can love me like you do? Who will turn my life around? Who will change my story? Love me so. How much you feel for me? Love me so.
Wonderful. Jerry, thank you. I think that's Miracle Ketor, right? A gospel musician from Liberia.
Yes.
Right. So at this time, we will take your final comments, and we will want to have Sis Madia Reeves Carpet to be the last person because she's the chair. So we will go to Dr. Boko. From Dr. Boko, we will go to Dr. Dennis. From Dr. Dennis, then we'll go to Sis Reeves Carpet.
Yes. We live in a time where Africa has much to offer. You know, in the past, people coming from the Northern Hemisphere, the perception was that they have everything to give to Africa and nothing to receive. But as I speak, when we look at the church, Lutheran World Federation, the largest, the three largest Lutheran churches in LWF are from the continent. Some people here in the US and Europe are in denial, but that's a fact. The largest is Mekane Jesus from Ethiopia. Second largest, the Evangelical Lutheran Church in Tanzania. Third, Malagasy Lutheran Church, Madagascar. So the world is changing. And also, I tell my brothers and sisters who are coming to Liberia to have that, concept of thinking that we are going to Liberia to give. No. It's a twofold. We are coming to give, but at the same time, I believe the Lutheran Church in Liberia as a nation, has very much to offer to the world. So this is the opportunity for you to teach us, especially when it comes to community of faith. The Western Hemisphere, talking of the ELCA, I'm a part of the ELCA. When you look at the church as an institution, corporate, I think we have much, to teach other parts of the world. But when it comes to the community of faith, we have much to learn from you, Josiah, and from Ambassador Jerry. And again, my dear, she has been living here for years in the US. And when we live here, sometimes, not all the people, but we get uprooted from our cultural, roots. And we are coming back to Liberia to reconnect. Again, back to you, Josiah. Thank you so much, Josiah, Ambassador Jerry, Willie, even for arranging this type of gathering. I say thank you so very much, and we appreciate you. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Bogo. It's been a great pleasure having you. It's an honor for us to have your caliber on the show. This speaks to the progress we are making in terms of providing the means, a channel for Lutherans to be heard, for people in leadership in the different structures of the global Lutheran Church to be able to communicate with each other, to share and learn from each other. So it was really a great honor to have you, and we hope this is not going to be the last time. We hope that we will always have you here to share your valuable insights when it comes to your experience and the work that you do within the ELCA. Thank you so much, Dr. Bogo.
Thank you.
Dr. Dennis?
Thank you.
Our own Dr. Dennis. Dr. Dennis, we are still awaiting that short note from you. This has to be consummated, sir.
Yes, Willie and I are working on it, and we are trusting that sooner than later it will be done. But I wanted to share with you that the symbol that represents the newsletter for our African National Ministry is titled Sankofa. And Sankofa is the proverb or the wisdom from Africa that says, this bird, as it moves forward, it looks back. And like Dr. Boko beautifully articulated, the church from Africa has her sons and daughters in the diaspora, and God, by his eternal purpose have placed us in such a time to go back to draw from the strength that helps shape some of us into the people and leaders that we are. And so to bring our brothers and sisters in this part of the world that, were used in time past to minister to us, so they too can be ministered to by the church they have formed. So I want to leave us with that image that this conference is a Sankofa movement where the church from the West, your sons and daughters, your brothers and sisters from this part of the world are coming to learn from the church they help plant and nurture. So in order to be strengthened to continue to be the church in this part of the world. So it's exciting. It's great to have elders like Dr. Boko here as a great witness to what the continent can produce. And we stand on his shoulders. We stand on the shoulders of eminent people like Sis Marty, who have served the church faithfully for years in this country in many capacities. And all of this is going to go a long way to strengthen what God has placed us here to be. Once upon a time, missionary came to Africa, and today God has sent missionaries from Africa to the Western world in support of the gospel. That's part of God's eternal purpose, and we are excited to be part of what God is doing in the ELCA, in the African National Ministry, and by extension, what God is going to do, our both churches to do together in this conference as we learn from each other to continue to accompany each other in serving the gospel of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And thanks for this platform, Lutheran Connection. I told you, you have humble beginnings, but your latter and your future is bright and great. You are going to be part of the story that will be told for generations to come. So we are humble and we accept the opportunity and the privilege of being with you this evening.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Dennis. Much appreciated. Our own Madia Reese Carpet. Over to you, Chair.
So I'd like to thank you for having us come on to share our vision for what is going to happen in Monrovia. We are excited, and all Liberians who have heard about the conference have been excited. Tonight, you were able to hear from the horse's mouth, from Bishop Padmo and Reverend Dr. Jala, about the arrangements that are being made and the kinds of logistics that will go into making this a successful conference. I'm looking forward to partnering with all of you in publicizing this conference and making sure that people understand what contribution the Lutheran Church in Liberia has made to Lutheranism. And especially, I'm proud that we who came here from Liberia and being part of the Lutheran Church here, we've been playing active role in the ELCA. We work on committees, we work on various and missions and activities. And this is an opportunity for us to go back to our own home to show them that we have been truly carrying out that gospel message that they taught us and that we brought over here. So again, thank you. Anytime you need us to come on, just give us notice. We'll be glad to come on and tell you we hope this is not going to be the last time before we go to Monrovia, that you will give us another opportunity to really tie up all the loose ends and be able to give you a good report as you got tonight, even better report. And we look forward to seeing all of you in Monrovia. This is God's work. And we pray that all of you would join us to make this a successful conference and that you will truly represent the Lutheran Church in Liberia. Again, thank you for having us and be glad to come back anytime you want us to come back. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Sis Madia. Before I go to my colleagues, Willie and Jerry, let me just say to the three of you that you have a bill coming for your appearance on this show. Okay. And the bill is the pride. The bill is the pride that we get as a network, you know, for talking all things Lutheran. That's the bill that we sent you. That's the bill you get, the pride that we get that we are able to talk about the Lutheran Church, that we are able to talk about how we support each other spiritually and physically, to talk about the relationships that we've built on the basis of the responsibilities that we have. So that's the kind of bill that we send you all times when you appear on this show. We want to say thank you very much. Willie Cowboy, is over to you, sir. Are you still in the terminal?
No, I'm not in the terminal. I'm currently parked at a red light, but I will use the quick 1 or 2 minutes quick. I will say this.
Willie, you got 1 minute, not 2.
Yeah, 1 minute. There's a famous song in Liberia that says, "Your delay is not your denial." So we should have had this conference in 2021. It did not happen due to COVID. We should have had it in 2022 and whatever. But this 2023, God has chosen the time. The book of the Ecclesiastes talk about time. So this is our time to shine. I'm so excited. So I'm overjoyed and excited that light is shining. The Lutheran Church in Liberia is going to make history. The history that was once made in Tanzania, we're going to make this history in West Africa. There are other great countries, but Liberia, a small nation, was chosen. I want to thank all of our guests for appearing, and I also want to thank all of my colleagues. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you very much.
By the way, Willie, are you going for the conference?
Yeah.
Sorry,
We'll leave that to the bosses.
Willie, sorry for putting you on the spot. Hey, ambassador there in Freetown. And by the way, ambassador is in Freetown with all the responsibilities that he has. This is to Dr. Boko, because Sis Badia knows and Dr. Dennis knows, with all the responsibilities he has, is his commitment. Every Sunday, he is here on the show with us. Ambassador, it's over to you.
And please ask Ambassador the same question. Are you going for this conference?
Ambassador is closer to Monrovia.
You can drive to Monrovia.
Ambassador, is over to you.
Are you getting me? Am I clear enough?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm looking at schedule to try to adjust my own work time and to see if I can get there, because it is very, very, very exciting. I can already see how big this conference is going to be, and I don't think this is something that I will want to miss. So I will try to see how I can adjust my own work schedule and to see if I can take 1 or 2 days off from my annual leave to see if I can join the process. Again, I would like to say a very big thank you to our guests, and I'm also excited, and I also want to say a very big thank you to the grand team and headed by our Lord Bishop, Reverend Dr. G. Victor Palmo and Reverend Dr. Torbert Jala for all of the organization so far. Let me tell you something. Joe, you won't believe. All of you noticed that we got some technical glitches from my end because I had to leave home to sit somewhere. You know the fragility sometimes we have in Africa, so I had a blackout. So I have to go to find electricity to make sure that I get on. And you won't believe that every time Sunday is my Lutheran connection, I'm running like crazy. So like it was almost 7:30 and I was in traffic. These guys want to block me. I have to put emergency light on. I said, look, I cannot afford to miss this thing because ready is air on and I got to be there to start the show. So I'm using more than 3 gadgets right now. Using my phone, you saw me all in between, as well as my laptop and then the computer. Yes. And so I hope the guests will bear with us. I mean, these kind of challenges, occur. But that situation, my Lutheran connection and talking all things Lutheran is in my blood vessels, in my veins, my nerves. And then Josiah said, the only pride we get is just to sit to talk about Lutheran all over the world. That is our pride. We are happy to be a part of this process. We will always be there pro bono, whatsoever the publicity will be. Says my Reverend Dr. Dennis and Reverend Moko, please don't forget, if we can get on less maybe 60 seconds, short word. We will always on the show, we'll always make sure that we wrote it so that we can always remind people that this conference is coming. We got to make it big. We got to make it big. It's on us to make it big. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
There you have it. preach, teach, heal is the theme of the International African Lutheran Conference coming up in April this year, 2023. It's not in Europe. It's not in the Americas. It's not in Asia, but it's in Africa. And it's in Liberia, Monrovia. It is where African Lutherans are going to converge to be able to reflect on what they have done. And there couldn't be any better historical location for that than Liberia, where for more than 163 years, the Lutheran Church has contributed to the health, educational, and religious needs of the Liberian people. That was what Jesus charged us to do. The great mission to preach, heal, and teach. How have we done? What have we done? Where are we? 163 years ago. Let's go back to where we started, Liberia. Let's find out how far we've gone. How proud can we be to tell the rest of our African brothers and sisters that this is where we started? Millsburg. Let's come to Monrovia and tell them between 13th and 14th Street. This is where the office has existed. This is what we have done. Let's go over to Banga to St. Mark's. Let's go to Totota St. John. Let's go to Zozo St. John. Right there on 13th Street, 14th Street, rather, where you have the St. Peter's Lutheran Church, the Cathedral of the Lutheran Church in Liberia, where more than 600 Liberians were murdered in cold blood. Let's go historically. Let's talk about the role the church played in resuscitating the lives of people following the years of war in the country. Let's talk about that. The spiritual and physical needs being addressed by the church. Until you come back next Sunday, this has been my Lutheran Connections discussion, and we were in the company of members of the committee of the forthcoming International African Lutheran Conference to be held in Monrovia. My name is Josiah, and thank you for listening and watching. See you next Sunday.